Hello, this is John Olson, and I'm a student at Fort Hays State University. And this is my Encourage the Heart video for AEP 855 Educational Leadership. And today we're talking about inclusive leadership. I will start by defining inclusive leadership. Inclusive leadership can be defined as the practice of leadership that carefully includes the contributions of all stockholders in the community or organization. For the first part of this assignment, I'm going to talk about an article and some video. The article I chose to talk about today is Inclusive Leadership, the View from 6 Countries. It's a case study of employees and their sense of inclusion in the workplace. There were 1,512 participants, 250 each from 6 countries surveyed. The 6 countries are Australia, China, Germany, India, Mexico, and the USA. In this case study, both men and women were equally represented in numbers. Okay, so the employees were given a survey, they filled it out, and this is some of the commonalities that they found. One of them is what makes women feel included also makes men feel included. The more included employees felt, the more innovative they reported being in their jobs. The more included participants felt, the more they reported engaging in team citizenship behaviors. This would include going above and beyond to help others and meet group objectives. Some more commonalities that were found in most of the 6 countries, but not all. Employees felt included when simultaneously they perceived to be both similar and unique from their coworkers. The inclusion formula was the same for men and women. This would be a combination of uniqueness and belongingness, created a sense of inclusion. Among Indian men and women, uniqueness and a sense of belongingness were not contributors to employee perceptions of inclusion. They viewed the concept of uniqueness and belongingness interchangeably. So in India, probably due to culture, things are different there, just in their perceptions. One of the things noted at the end of the case study were the 4 leadership behaviors linked to inclusion. Number 1, empowerment. This would be leaders enabling people to develop and excel in their jobs and their work. Courage, taking risk, not being afraid to try new things, not being afraid of making mistakes. Humility, admitting and learning from your mistakes, and accepting constructive criticism from your peers. And accountability. This is the responsibility for one's actions. So if you do something, then you are responsible for that. Okay. I also watched a couple videos by this guy, Simon Sinek. He's a great guy, great speaker. I think he's considered to be a management expert, and he gives talks all over the place about leadership and management. The first video I watched was Why Eaters Eat Last. A very good video. Second video was If you don't understand people, you don't understand business. In these videos, he talked a lot, and he had a lot of great things to say, and I thought I would try and summarize that best I could, and I will start by some quotes from the video. Together we work to survive, to come together in our companies, our jobs, and our tribes, to feel that we belong, to know and be around people that believe in what we believe in order to feel safe. The responsibility of leadership. Great leaders extend a sense of belonging and inclusiveness to the outermost edges of the organization so that even the junior most person feels like they belong. Yes, even the janitor too. They feel that they're important, safe, and valued and protected. I can relate to that quite well. We need the recognition of others. Good leaders look after others and should be willing to sacrifice themselves for others, for their followers, for their people. Leaders must follow through with their commitments to the success of the group. Leaders must create tangible goals which can be seen. This is why we call it a vision. Great leaders extend the circle of belonging and safety to the outermost edges of an organization. Love, trust, and friendship in leadership. Leadership is a willingness to sacrifice to ensure the safety and happiness of others. Human bonds are important. Handshaking and hugging, they build trust. And in this video, the first video, Simon talks a lot about the different brain chemicals that are associated with feelings that we have as humans, like serotonin and oxytocin and things like that, and cortisol. Okay, human bonds are important. They build trust. Human bonds, handshaking and hugging, release oxytocin in the brain, and that creates this feeling of trust and friendship. Acts of human generosity, such as the giving of time, energy, while expecting nothing in return. This is, according to him, the definition of generosity. Not money. Time is more valuable than money. Good leaders give us their sincere time and energy in order to make us feel important and build trust and friendship and a sense of belonging. Money cannot accomplish that. A feeling of togetherness, a circle of safety, a circle of belongingness, trusting relationships. Importance of communities and groups in the workplace. We as individuals need each other to be successful and survive. Not based on skills and ability, but based on what you believe. Shared beliefs and common values build trust. The concept of togetherness, human interaction, and sharing common values and beliefs fosters a sense of confidence that if we fail or falter, we can depend on the idea that we will be backed up by our leaders. Human interaction, helping others, trust and community, authenticity. I believe in what you believe. I could relate to this a lot because at my workplace, I work for a Korean school, and due to cultural differences or whatever, there's not much inclusiveness going on, and I've noticed that has a huge effect on myself and my coworkers in a negative way. It seems like it would be so simple for them to take a look at inclusive leadership, but they don't. So anyway, I really enjoyed watching those videos. I thought he has a lot of great things to say. I would love to go and watch him speak someday. Okay, part 2 of this assignment was to talk about how leaders in my field, which would be the education field, can successfully apply inclusive leadership. And some of the things I found out and I thought about were, number 1, leaders can be a good example and demonstrate respect for others. That way, other people can see that. Leaders should be open, honest, and fair. We should, as leaders, seek and encourage diverse perspectives. We should also take part in frequent self-assessment and awareness. It's important to look at what you have done and use that to advance in your life and try to develop professionally. Okay. Professional development. Provide and gather genuine feedback from your peers and students or coworkers. We should encourage people to take risk, make mistakes, and be more creative. There's nothing to be afraid of. We should ensure that feeling in our workplace and in our classrooms. We should also try and do as we say and what we believe. We should try to follow up on what we're thinking about, what we're saying, and what we really truly believe in, what we're passionate about. And we should share the role of leadership with everybody that's involved. Everybody should have some input into what's going on as far as leadership goes in the organization, or the classroom, or the office, or the school in general. Part 3, the challenges of being an inclusive leader in education. There's lots of challenges, at least in my situation. Current practices, for example, at my school, they have what they have. They have their curriculum, they have their plan, they have their way of doing things. And those current practices are ingrained in their culture and the culture of the school. So that would be a big challenge to try and get them to change that. Following through with what you talk about and what you want your students to do or your coworkers to do and take part in. It's important that you follow through with what you believe in and what you're saying. Cultural differences, that goes directly to me and my situation working with the Korean school system. It's it's very difficult to understand and overcome those cultural differences sometimes. Family engagement is something that I think is very important as a teacher. I think it's important to get the family involved in the education of their children, but that is a very big challenge for me and my situation, just because I live in a big city and it's very difficult and the cultural differences as well, it's very difficult to arrange those meetings and so on. And giving time and energy to everyone. There's just only so much you can do for each individual. You cannot give yourself and your time and energy to every single person that's involved in the organization. There's just not enough time. And so that is a challenge, and how do you overcome that? I'm not sure. But I think with just trying and not giving up, one can accomplish these things. Okay, so that's my presentation, and I will end that with a quote from Helen Henderson. Inclusion works to the advantage of everyone. We all have things to learn and something to teach. Thank you.